Hi everyone, Mike here, and this is the first video in a series on how to use Autodesk Inventor, which is a 3D CAD program for those of you who may not know. So before I go on telling you the basics of how to use it, I should start out by showing you where you can get it yourself. This is the Autodesk Education Community website, which I'll provide a link in the description to get here. You'll need to follow the instructions to create an account, which are pretty straightforward. Once you've done this, go to the free software tab and look for Autodesk Inventor Professional. Download and install that, and you should be good to go. So now that that's out of the way, let's get started, shall we? The common applications for Inventor are divided into 4 categories, which are parts, assemblies, drawings, and presentations. We'll start out with parts with a standard IPT. To start off a part, you'll need a 2D sketch, so we click the Create Sketch button and click a plane to draw it on. Once you're in sketch mode, you'll see that the toolbar has changed to geometry on the left, constraints toward the middle, which I'll talk about later, and commands toward the right. So say we wanted to make a triangle. We could go to line and draw 3 segments. 1, 2, 3. Simple enough. But say we wanted to make the bottom line horizontal. We could drag the corners to make it look close, but we don't really know for sure. So this is where constraining comes in. What constraining is taking geometry and limiting your ability to change it. So for example, this is the horizontal constraint, which takes anything you touch and makes it horizontal. And we can apply that here. So now you'll notice that no matter which way this corner is pulled, the line will always remain horizontal. So that's basically what constraining is. The other constraints are listed up here too. They're pretty self-explanatory, and you can also hover over the icon to get a brief demo if you want. Now also say we wanted to make the triangle equilateral. So we go to our constraints and find the equal constraint, which makes 2 things equal, and apply it here. Now this geometry is almost fully constrained except for one problem. We don't really know how big it is. It could be this big, it could be this big, which isn't really helpful because we don't know for sure. So that's why we give it a dimension to control the size. For starters, we'll make it 1 inch tall. Now we're going to make another triangle inside of the first, and we could just repeat the whole process of drawing lines and constraining them, but that's too much work. When we could just use the offset command to take geometry and make it bigger or smaller depending on what you want. So now all we need to do is control the size of the smaller one by dimensioning it, say, 1/4 inch off the first one. So now we're ready to finish the sketch and make it 3D. Finish sketch. Now this is the extrude command, which takes your sketch and basically stretches it out, as you can see here. And all we need to do is define how far it needs to go, say another 1/4 inch. And now we have ourselves a very nice part. Let's make a new one. Now I'm going to show you how to make circles out of squares. Oh yes. Start out like any other part with the 2D sketch, and now I'm going to make a rectangle here, a line over here, give it some dimensions, and offset it by the line by about same thing. Finish the sketch. And now instead of extruding like the last part, I'm going to revolve it around an axis. And now you'll see that we have a nice circular part made entirely out of the square, which is very nice. Now we could have made this just like the last part with extrusion, but there's a lot of different ways to do things with Inventor, and now you know a little something about revolving. So let's make one more part. It's going to be a simple square part, but I have a very different way of doing it using the sweep command. What sweep is basically it takes 2 sketches and uses one as the profile and one as the path. So if I were to make a square on this plane, get some dimensions, and then make another square on this plane, the square is going to be a bit smaller. Let's see here, 0.25 and 0.25. Then I perform a sweep using, this is the profile and this is the path. So you see it takes the shape of the profile and follows it all the way around the path, giving us a nice square part. So like I said earlier, you'll find that with Inventor there's a lot of ways to get the same results. And I think that about wraps up this introduction to parts. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you got any questions, please ask, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to leave a comment. I've been Mike, and I'll see you next time.